Hello and welcome again. Today, I might say education is at a crossroads, but that would be like a huge understatement of what the current state really is. You see, the thing is, it's better to say that education is winding its way through a very lonely country road, and suddenly it opens up into a huge busy freeway, as busy as America's I-95 if you've ever been there, as busy as that. And that is the kind of shock that the education system is not about to face, but it's currently facing. Unfortunately, some parents, some students, and the worst part, administrators, teachers, and even worst, exam boards around the world. People who give the exams, that the currency that opens the door to all of the colleges, the universities, the places where dreams come true. All of that is about to undergo a radical transformation. And it's not going to happen overnight, it's currently happening, but it's going to advance at a rate that is beyond human comprehension, because the exponential rate at which this technology is advancing and the way that it's invading and intruding every facet of our life, and the way that it is overturning everything we believed in and everything we felt was special to us and human. You see, it's already been doing that with assessment. Over the last 3 years or so, since the advent of ChatGPT and other bits of interactive AI, where the student could get help with homework and all sorts of activities that require simple replication of information, or organizing, or writing an essay, or solving a simple problem. All of that is now being done with the help of AI. But with all of that, some teachers and examination boards are still in a state of denial. Recently, I spoke with a teacher about an assignment that came directly from a famous examination board. And students around the world have a choice of several essays to write about some kind of philosophical thing. Now, the teacher claimed that ChatGPT and AI are not at that level yet to write sophisticated essays. Now, if you take the prompt as given by the exam board and you dump it into the AI, and you accept the first answer that comes out, likely it would be the simplest and most least sophisticated, I should say then, answer that you can possibly get. It won't have that in-depth analysis. And that is the nature of the conversation. You throw something out at the device or at the AI, and it would not immediately understand the depth and the direction that you want to take. And this is what the student must then do if they want to cheat that system. They must have some insight about where they want to go with their paper, what kinds of analysis and arguments they want to raise, what unique examples they want to explore, and they would then engage in a conversation with AI like Gemini or ChatGPT or whatever you have. And when they engage in that very much an intellectual conversation, it's like they have approached some expert who's going to cheat and help them with their essay, but they have to make some input for the expert to craft that essay for them. So it's like, think about some human being who's an expert writer. You go to that person and you say, "This is my life story. Please help me with my autobiography." And then you have to sit with that person and tell them about your life story, and they will craft for you your autobiography. This is something that's been done by people. But now for a student looking for a good essay, they need to sit with the AI, engage it, and push it in various directions. Ask for a first draft, ask for a second draft, make suggestions, present arguments that sometimes lead the AI to say, oh, I didn't see that, or good catch, or something like that. And when that happens, it shows that there is some thinking. And the thing about it is, the learner who does that, or the teacher who's brave enough to coach his or her students to do that, will get good results, because the people who examine the work, all they have is their experience as human beings. And the marking system was never that strong in the first place. So it's going to be very easy for students to put together their essays. The thing about it is, the exam board is set in its ways, and it's in a position where it cannot change that. It will not change that overnight, and it's set to go for the next 4, 5, maybe 6 years. But what's already going to happen is another kind of change now. And the teachers who do the coaching every day, eventually we too are going to become obsolete, because it's not going to happen, it's already happening. And I am speaking to you in the flesh and blood, by the way. This is not an avatar, but everything that I'm saying and the way that I'm saying it could be done by an avatar. Further, your child or your student or your learner could engage with an avatar like this, pose questions, have questions answered, and the avatar would have empathy, it would have understanding, it would understand by tracking eye movement when the student might have had enough or if they're confused. So all of those things will be coming, and the avatar will have access to immense amounts of knowledge at their fingertips, and likely will not be making as many mistakes as human beings do. As a teacher, very often I've made mistakes lecturing in the class. I would misspeak, and thankfully I might have had some students over the years who would raise their hand and say, Mr. Dubay, please correct this and please correct that. Very thankful for those students. And then after we get through that stage where teachers basically become obsolete, what we're going to have to do is to reinvent what's important in education, or rethink then what's important in education. And we've got certain things, of course, that teachers will still have to do. For example, to simply give you that human touch like I'm giving you now. Now, I'm not saying that AI would not be able to give a talk like this one that I'm giving now. It might. But to be out there with the students, in the field, for example, playing sports, picking fruit, taking a trip in nature, a hike, swimming in a lake, those human activities are for the time being the domain of the human teacher. Furthermore, a teacher like myself, we have anecdotes. Anecdotes for the kids who have been in my class over the years. You know that I've always been big on my story. And for example, when I teach about genetics, I am able to talk about mice that I reared myself. And I have videos on my YouTube channel talking about the story about how I kept these mice and I did that, and where I was and what country I went to take a picture of these lichens, or to take a picture of the leatherback turtle on the beach and what the beach was like. And all of my human experiences, my lived experience, I bring to the students. And that now is going to become a very, very powerful tool in the teacher's armory to give that personal and human touch, which, at least for the moment, AI can't give. Or if it does give it, it would be contrived. The AI cannot smell the salty air on the beach. It cannot taste the sweet taste of a fruit. It cannot taste the sweet taste of a ripened mango being plucked from the tree. And it's these kinds of human experiences that teachers must now bring to their classroom and enrich learning for students as humanity faces what could be its ultimate challenge, and education is no exception.